Martin afterwards.
All right. Kind of a strange week with the Monday-Saturday schedule, but definitely excited about coming home to Carver after playing on the road the last 2 games. I felt like we played pretty well the last couple, the last week, and so it's fun to be in Carver. I think we're going to have a great crowd, and I think it should be a really, really good environment. Nebraska is scary because they are basically, 500 in the Big Ten, but look, they beat Maryland at Maryland 90-67. They really played Penn State about the same way that we did, so pretty similar that way. Sam Hawkeyes is an excellent point guard. She was out early in the year with an injury. She's back now and playing better and better all the time. Jazz Shelley, one of the better guards in our conference. Alexis Markowski, just an excellent post player that can shoot threes. If you remember last year, I think she had about 6 in Carver against us. Very, very good three-point shooter. So, again, it's kind of a little bit of a battle with our post because she can go down and post up so well, but it has that shooting range as well. So looking forward to the game. Like I say, it should be a great environment for us.
You're probably not one to get into ranking stuff like that, but imagine Wednesday or Monday's game has to rank right up there as far as your moments here.
Well, I don't know. Anytime you win like the Big Ten, it's a bigger deal to me, or the championship or the tournament. As far as individual games, it was definitely one of the highlights just because it was on the road. They were undefeated before we got them. And so all those things, they had a great crowd. So all those things made it probably one of the best individual games.
When you look at the third quarter and you survived a third quarter on the road against a great team like that, does that give your team, you, confidence in your defense that even when shots aren't falling, that you can kind of lock things down and not let it go, slip away?
Yeah, I feel like, and I told the team this before the game, is that every time you do something hard, it makes you better. Like the Michigan State game was hard, and we survived that. And that's going to make us better. And I feel like, again, this was hard, right? We had to survive that rush that they had, that momentum that they had in the third quarter. We're playing on the road, playing without McKenna, but that makes us better. And so I feel like all those situations that you can put your team through and you can survive and you can count on again and bring back into their memory, I think is a good thing.
Is it good to have a few days off after that big of a high, just kind of let things run their course and get back up to play Saturday?
Yeah, because that's what you all worry about, right? Is the emotional letdown after a win like that. But honestly, we celebrated in the locker room for about 5 minutes, and then everybody got on the plane, and I think the kids all fell asleep, and we started working on Nebraska. So, these games don't let you have a whole lot of time to celebrate. But certainly, they had to feel good about themselves, and we do need to make sure we get back down to let's get to the matter at hand now, which is Nebraska. With a mature group like we have, I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Nebraska, you pointed out that has been up and down in terms of their performance and the teams that they've defeated and lost to. Do you see anything in particular that they do well or poorly in those instances? When they win, what are they doing better?
Hitting threes. Definitely. When they're winning, their threes are falling down, and when they're going through the net, when they're not winning, their three hasn't fallen as well for them. So I think our three-point defense has got to be really, really important. And again, when you're guarding 4s and 5s that can shoot really well from 3, it can be tricky at times. When you have somebody like Jazz Shelley who shoots the ball nearly 40% from three-point range, you've got to keep your eyes on her all the time. So to me, that really is important, is the three-point defense, the defensive transition where they get a lot of those spot-up threes. We have to be really good in those areas.
How's McKenna doing?
I haven't seen her since the trip. We practiced today after this, and so I think she's coming along. I'm hoping that we'll have her for Saturday, but I still think it's day by day. It really is a situation where she just needs to heal. And once she heals, she'll be ready to go again. You know, we have to make sure she's staying in shape during this time, and that's hard to do when you have a rib injury. So we're working on it.
Is that something that she's able to practice through with like some kind of, not a brace, but some kind of protection or?
Yeah, they have made some protection for her, but we haven't even tried to practice her yet. She has not practiced.
So she wasn't close to playing it on Monday at all?
No.
Okay.
What's the nature, I mean, is it a bruised rib or?
Right. Soft tissue damage, yeah.
I don't need a compare and contrast list, but Mikolashikova and Alexis Markowski are kind of similar. What do you see between their two games? You guys did really well against Mikolashikova the other night.
Well, first of all, Kyle, I'm really impressed with your ability to say their names. So that was really good. I can't do that, so kudos to you. But you're right, they're very similar post players, and that both of them are really good at down low, but they're also really good on the three-point line. So I think it's kind of nice that we're playing them, so close together, because we can use a lot of the same tendencies that we did against them for this game.
Is that something that you can do, is look back on film? What did we do well against her at Ohio State? Are those some things that can carry over to Saturday?
Absolutely, yeah.
We've talked over the years so much about the benefits of the home crowds and that, but I'm wondering if that has helped at all on the road, in the sense that, you look at the Michigan game, you look at the Ohio State game, that was probably their two best attended games of the season. Even though it's opponent noise and people there, do you feel like this unit is comfortable playing in, hyped environments because they do so here so often?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Dargan. I think that's so true, because we're used to it, and some people aren't used to it, right? And so, you just kind of, you're used to the noise and how to communicate when there's that kind of noise. So you can kind of fool yourself, think they're cheering for you, But no, I think that we are more ready for those kind of environments, and we have to be, because it seems like everybody brings out their best promotions against us.
Coach, winning's nothing new, but is it harder to coach when your team is, playing so well and on a 5-game win streak?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, that's when it's fun, right? When things are going well for you and your team is having fun, playing well. That's what you dream of as a coach. So this is a lot of fun.
How well is Monica playing right now? I know she's been in foul trouble and everything, but even Monday, fourth quarter, she came in and made an immediate impact in scoring.
Monica's been incredible. In her last two games, she is 22 for 24. That's like 92% shooting. Absolutely amazing. So she's doing great. Yes, we want to keep her out of foul trouble, definitely. But boy, when she's in, it's been amazing, the numbers that she's put up.
Do you think it's just her confidence? I mean, because she's putting up these numbers, that it just continues to kind of repeat over and over? Or?
Well, I mean, she's always, for the last 2 years, she's been a 68% shooter, which is quite honestly unbelievable to do that 2 years in a row. But 92% is just a whole different level. But, I think she has gotten into foul trouble, so maybe less time has helped her a little bit, possibly, having forced to the bench because of foul trouble has helped her be more efficient when she is in. That's something to think about.
Have you noticed a rock star effect with Caitlin on the road? I mean, how do the opponents kind of treat her or greet her?
Well, I don't think the opponents like her too much, but the opponents' fans, I definitely see that kind of rock star status. I mean, there's kids from the opposing team that have Caitlin Clark posters and asking her for autographs, and they're wearing Ohio State or Michigan State things, and yet they're fans of Caitlin Clark. And I think that's why our attendance has been so good on the road as well, as people want to see her play. She's an exciting player. And it's pretty neat when you have a player that understands that like Caitlin does and embraces it and really promotes it. I mean, it's just so good for our game. I've told the story about last year when we were playing at Nebraska, and there's a kid with a sign that says, "Caitlin, can I have your shoelaces?" And she went over and gave him her shoes. I mean, that's just like, kids cry when they get that sort of stuff. It's just so good for our game, but, that's unusual, and it's really neat.
Have you witnessed that with anybody else from any other teams through the years? I mean,
Megan was like, I think, adored, but I think it was by an older generation. It was like interesting, like, you know, those were like our fans just couldn't, you know, get enough of her. But these are like the kids, and that's what I like to see, is because, you know, we want every kid growing up in the state wanting to be an Iowa women's basketball player, and she's really, really channeling that.
Well, we saw a lot of younger girls wearing headbands with Megan coming here and everything, but it seems like Caitlin is almost transcending the sport, where you're ending up on major networks, Fox, ABC, you're getting 1 million viewers, you're, you know, biggest audience that's had, and in what ways can she help promote the sport, not only within Iowa, not only your program, but the sport at large, and grow it when you're, in what ways can she do that?
Well, I think she's doing it. I mean, I think she's, obviously you have to perform really well on the floor, and when you are the face of women's basketball, that's a little bit extra pressure, right, that other people don't have. So she's already doing that. I think she plays with a passion and a joy that people really enjoy watching, and that's why, you know, that technical really bothered me when she got that, because that was so unnecessary, and we don't want to stifle. We don't want a bunch of robots out there. That's no fun to watch. But, you know, Caitlin, you can tell she loves the game. She wants to play. She loves representing the Hawks, and let's not take that away, because that's what people come to see. But I definitely think, you know, with her notoriety, she's bringing unbelievable attention to our university, to obviously the attendance in Carver. But, you know, we are getting national televised games because, you know, of Caitlin, and the rest of our team are playing so well. So it's, you know, what she's doing is really good. She's a great role model. She's an excellent student, and she plays the game with a lot of heart out there.
She's also, you know, got a lot of NIL opportunities, and can she be a trailblazer in that area, not only, you know, through Hy-Vee and Nike and all these other areas, but just bringing more awareness and then more financial opportunities for young women?
I mean, we talk about it when we're recruiting, is that we have one of the best NIL opportunities here on our campus wearing an Iowa women's basketball uniform. So here's an opportunity for you, you know, if you can do what Caitlin does, to have reap these kind of rewards. But, you know, I definitely think her notoriety, I mean, it brings so much attention to our team, and obviously the more attention it brings, the more NIL opportunities she has, but other people have as well. Last year, Holly Rowe was here and talked to our team, and it was before a lot of this stuff had happened, and she said, you know, when Caitlin's light shines on Caitlin, it shines on all of you. And that's what we're trying to remember, is that, you know, Caitlin's got a pretty big spotlight, but it really goes, you know, it really helps all of us.
Going back to the upcoming game against Nebraska, it's a rivalry game. Is it kind of one of those where, you know, whether Nebraska's been up and down or not, you kind of expect, you know, their best shot because it is, you know, a rivalry game? Last year's 2 games were good as well.
Yeah, and we played them 3 times because we played them in the Big Ten tournament too, in the semifinals. And we got them all 3 times, and that doesn't sit too well with teams. You know, for them, they really consider us this really big rival because we're the closest one to them, but they're kind of the newcomers to the Big Ten still for me. And I don't think of that natural Big Ten rivalry with Nebraska, but I know they do. And so we have to counter that. But I mean, Nebraska, I mean, we get everybody's good shot, I think. I mean, and that just comes with the target of being the defending champions, the defending tournament champions and regular season champions, is that and everybody needs top 25 wins. And so I think we're going to get everybody's shot. We better be used to it. That's going to make us better.
Was there ever, maybe not concerned, but, you know, you beat them 3 times last year. They're not a bad team. It's hard to beat them 3 times. Is that kind of maybe a concern of, you know, eventually statistically, they're probably going to get us at some point? Is that...
I can't even think about that stuff, you know. I really can't. I mean, you know, it's just, you know, every game is a new game, and every game's an opportunity for somebody to win and somebody to lose, and I can't get caught up a whole lot in those statistics.
Is there anything you've seen in the last 2 games where Monica has really avoided foul trouble most of the year until these 2 games? Is there anything that was going on there that you could see?
Yeah, lots of times it's been when the opponent gets an offensive rebound and she's trying to contest it right next to the basket. That's where a lot of them happened, especially in the Michigan State game. And so we need to make sure that we're getting help. Like when she helps on a guard, somebody's got to help her. We always say help the helper. And somebody else needs to step in and box out her player so she's not getting those kind of fouls. And those are three-point plays too, lots of times.
All right, guys, thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Was that a fun game?
Very. Very. Yes.
Gabbie, as an Ohio person, what did that mean to you? What was that like for you?
Yeah, you know, I think it's almost like the Iowa State game for the Iowa kids, and I always circle that game at the beginning of the year just because I am from there and I know basically all the girls on that team. So going in there and getting that win was huge for me, and just having my family there, it was a really fun day, really fun night.
Is there a lot of AAU crossovers with some of the girls there, or is it just being in the same state playing against each other?
Yeah, I would say a few played for my AAU program. Actually, I was teammates with Taylor, so it's always fun getting to play against them.
How did you completely shut her down?
How did you do it? I mean, that was just the mindset I came in with, just focusing on limiting her touches and limiting her points. I mean, I face guarded her basically the whole game, so that helped just being in her face and, I don't know, just kind of knowing where she is at all times on the court.
What's it like knowing every time you guys go on the road, it's kind of like a rock concert feel? I mean, not only who you guys are, but, you know, having Caitlin there, you're getting big crowds. You know, do you hear or see anything that's kind of unusual? And what's kind of the atmosphere is like in some of these road venues?
It's kind of fun. It's like a home crowd almost at a lot of away places, and it's cool to see Hawk fans everywhere we go. And Caitlin does bring in a lot of fans, and I think that's really cool and like something super special that she brings to this team and this program and to women's basketball throughout this nation. And so it's really fun to be able to play in loud crowds everywhere we go.
Do you ever hear any heckling or anything like that?
We're good at tuning it out.
Yeah.
If it's people are pretty nice, I would say, but I mean, obviously there are some fans who aren't always pleased about things that happen or calls that happen, or you know, if someone hits a big shot, but that's just something you have to deal with anywhere you go, especially on the road. But we're pretty good about tuning it out, I'd say.
Nebraska kind of hangs its hat offensively on three-point shooting, and that's kind of been the difference between their losses and their wins. What sort of defensive pressure do you have to put on them?
Yeah, I mean, definitely going to have to play from the outside in, and they are a really good three-point shooting team, and when they're on, and they're lethal from from the three-point line. So definitely just knowing where the shooters are, big communication on defense, and having that extra pressure, you know, that's important for this game.
Gabbie, do you feel like you've turned a corner a little bit offensively? Things seem like they're starting to come for you, that maybe a little bit of a thaw.
Yeah, I was in a slump earlier this year. I feel like I'm gaining confidence a little by little. I mean, I still would like to shoot the ball better, but, you know, it comes with time. And I think just letting my defense kind of let my offense flow naturally is what I've been trying to really focus on.
Over the course of a long season, when you guys, know that everything is still out in front of you, what did these moments do, like Monday, where, not everything went right? There were stretches in that game where, you guys really had to fight through some things to get through that. What kind of confidence does that give, over the course of a long year?
Yeah, I think you said it. It definitely gives us confidence, but I think we showed a lot of maturity in that game. The third quarter, we didn't score for however many minutes, like 7 minutes, and we still found a way to get out of that quarter, and we were still up by 2. So that's really important for this team, and that should show us that even if we're not scoring or even if we're not shooting how we want to, we can find a way to win. And so taking that into the rest of the season, there might be droughts where we haven't hit a bucket in a few minutes, but knowing that we can lock down, play defense, and stay composed and show our maturity there and our veteran team, that I think that's really important going into the rest of the season.
Lisa said that you guys celebrated in the locker room after the game, got on the plane, and apparently everyone fell asleep. Big wins, you always worry about, a letdown, going to the next game. Was it nice to, have this kind of break Monday to Saturday to be able to, maybe spend a few extra minutes on, how big of a win that is, but the maturity of the group to then also, focus in on the next game?
Yeah, I feel like you can't get too high or too low. I mean, obviously that was an awesome win, and we wish we could celebrate for a long time, but, it's on to the next, and that's just what it is in the Big Ten. We have to be ready for the next competition basically right after the game. So, I mean, just celebrating it, but also knowing that, like, we can't get too high, we can't lose our next game. Like, we got to be ready for the next opponent.
What do you guys think of all the media attention that's centered on not only yourselves, but Caitlin, but you're on Fox, you're on ABC, you're getting 1 million viewers to an NCAA tournament game. How do you think does that impact you, the way you play, your mental approach, or during the game, your mentality, or, and how do you think it maybe helps the game grow?
I think it's great for women's basketball. I mean, to get a game on Fox, like, growing up, you never thought that would be possible. You don't really see that happening. So I think it's super cool what, the media has been drawing attention to women's basketball more, and the kind of show that Caitlin can put on and, like, the media that she brings, I think is amazing. And I'm sure it's not easy all the time, but if it's not, Caitlin's really good at handling it, and she always puts the team first if she, whenever that kind of stuff happens, and if LeBron or whoever, Trae Young, is, like, reaching out, she's always focused on Iowa. And I'm sure it is pretty cool to see some stars reach out, but I think it just is great for the game, and it's great for this program.
I think it really shows, like, how special of a player Caitlin is, and, like, how grateful we are to be on her team and not play against her. So, I mean, it gets you just that much more excited for big games, just playing on ESPN, playing on Fox. Like, it's a big deal, and I don't think people realize, like, not everyone gets that opportunity. So just being grateful for it and just knowing that it's growing the game, women's game.
All right, guys, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.